I offer my most loving pranams at Swami's lotus feet. And as always, I pray to Swami, he gives us all the understanding. It is Swami who speaks, and it is Swami who listens through each one of us. Saram again, and thank you for another opportunity. It is very difficult to speak about anything Swami has done without dwelling a little deeper into what it means. I don't know whether that credit goes to Swami or to us, that we are always looking for something deeper in what Swami has done. But I think it is also that way. Nothing that Swami does is trivial, is not important, is insignificant. If you look at any quote-unquote spiritual master, they definitely have certain skills. Invariably, one of the skills is the ability to communicate very powerfully, the ability to empathize with the person in front of them, to be able to understand their situation and problem and guide them accordingly. But another quality which is invariably indispensable and unmissable is a sense of humor. Right? Always. A good teacher, a good spiritual master, a good guru will always have a good sense of humor. And needless to say, Swami has a phenomenal sense of humor. As we were students, we were, the age of youth is very fascinating. It is the time when you're so energetic and you're so enthusiastic, but you're also idealistic, right? Idealism attracts you in youth. That is why most of the revolutions in the world were driven by youth, because idealism attracts youth. That's one of the reasons we found it so easy to be attracted to Swami, because he stood for idealism. What fascinates the youth otherwise? It's fun, right? Just to have fun really attracts us. I still recall the first time I spoke so much about what happened in Thrai Vrindavan and all of that. I recall the first time when I stepped into Thrai Vrindavan and I saw Swami. I had darshan in Ramesh Hall, and after that I just went inside in Thrai Vrindavan. I saw Swami and I said to myself, this is a different Swami. This Swami is different because there was mischief in his eyes. The way he was walking and coming, he was looking at people, it looked like, okay, whose leg shall I pull today? So Swami was so different in that sense, and I think we were not attracted to Swami merely because we were spiritual. We were attracted to Swami because being with Swami was extremely fun. So I've just randomly put together some of the stories I've heard from my teachers, from some of my seniors. Some are simply beautiful, loving stories. But as I said, most of the stories have a lesson in them, which Swami was trying to convey. In the very early years of the college, this was shared by one of my teachers, who was one of the early students. This was before the buildings of the hostels and the universities came up. The students used to live in what was a modified car shed that used to serve as the students' hostel in Vrindavan. And the same shed used to be their dining hall, used to be their bedroom. They used to roll up their beds, sit there and study. It was just one living space, maybe like a hall like this, where they used to do everything. So one morning they had finished their Suprabhatam, and generally what happens after Suprabhatam, you try to catch some more sleep. Right? You wake up Swami and then you go to sleep. So that's what happened that day. Quite a few fellows came back quietly, unrolled their bed and they were lying down. And suddenly what do they see? 5:30 in the morning, Swami walks in. And Swami says, hey, Dunna Putta is all buffaloes, you're all sleeping now. after Suprabhatam. And Swami comes, imagine he walks into a hall where all the boys sleep. They don't even have a chair for Swami. They don't even have a throne. So what do? Quickly, mattresses are rolled up and put in a corner so that Swami can come and sit on it. So Swami comes and sits on that mattress, and Swami asks, suddenly for one boy, he said, where is this fellow? Gives a name and says, where is this boy? So they all look around, everyone is there except for this boy. And Swami is asking for him. And they all frantically go around trying to search for him, and this boy is not there. All of a sudden they find somebody singing outside the hall. Right? They can hear somebody in a very hoarse voice singing and coming. And Swami says, he's coming. You can hear him. But what this boy had done is, after Suprabhatam, he had gone into the garden so that he can pluck flowers and make a garland for Swami. And that simple act had touched Swami, and Swami had come looking for him. So Swami came and Swami said, where is that boy? So Swami, imagine, is sitting here. The entrance to the hall is towards the end. And this boy is singing bhajans and coming like that outside. And he enters, and what does he see? He sees Swami sitting there with all the boys around. And he's stunned and he's standing there. And then Swami explains what this boy was doing. This boy went to the garden, he was plucking flowers. And Swami said, he's a good boy. And Swami wanted to reward him. Okay, so Swami did like this. Catch. Right? Swami just did a motion like this. Swami's hands were empty. Swami just said, catch. So what would you do? You will just follow the trajectory, right? As they were following the trajectory, they could see mid-air a laddu materializing there like that. And going and falling right into that boy's palms. And Swami said, good boy, that is the gift for you. Then Swami looked around. All other boys were looking at Swami. What about for us? So Swami looked at them and asked, you also want laddus? So he said, yes Swami, please Swami, we also want laddus. Then Swami looks at the cook who was there, and Swami asks him, do you have a big basket? Right, a basket in which you can fill a lot of laddus, right? Swami asks, do you have a big basket? He says, yes Swami, and the cook runs into the corner which used to be the kitchen and brings the biggest basket available, so that if at all Swami chooses to materialize, he might as well have the whole basket filled. So he gets the biggest basket and he puts it in front of Swami. Swami looks at the basket and Swami says, this basket is good enough? Will it hold enough laddus for everyone? He says, yes Swami, it will hold. This is enough? He asked the boys. He said, yes Swami. Manchadi. Then Swami looks at the warden, looks at the cook. So make laddus and fill it. After all that, Swami says, make laddus, fill it, and give it to the boys. So in every small thing, there would be a reward for a loving gesture. There would be a lesson. But at the same time, a tinge of humor, so that every time you remember it, you will also smile. Right? As I was telling this morning, the whole idea is to be happy. How is it possible that when we would have been around Swami, we wouldn't have been happy? He would always find some way to make you happy, and sometimes the fun would be, Swami was, should we need to say it, Swami was brilliant at keeping the suspense till the end. One time Swami came to the portico when all the boys and the devotees were sitting, and there were two very senior devotees sitting in front. I won't name the devotees, but I will describe the devotees. Two very senior devotees, very revered people in Prashantinilayam among the students. One devotee happened to be very short in stature, shorter than Swami actually. The other devotee was extremely tall. He was 6+, right? So both these devotees were sitting in front. And Swami comes there, and Swami seemed very upset. Swami had a frown on his face, and Swami said, I'm very upset. He came there and he started telling, All the boys are around. And Swami is saying, if senior devotees fight like this, what can I do? So everyone's wondering what happened. How can you fight like this? And of all things, how can you fight in front of the Dhobi? So they're all looking at what happened. And then Swami says, these two. Chi. Such senior devotees, so many years with Swami. I give you as examples to my students. And they're fighting like this. And everybody was scared. What is happening? What did they do that Swami is so upset? Swami is saying, you know how they are fighting in front of the Dhobi? I felt so ashamed. But Swami is not telling what they were fighting about. This was going on for 5-10 minutes. Very upset. They're fighting like this, fighting like this. Then finally Swami says, pointing to the short one, Swami says, this man is telling the Dhobi, or pointing to the short one, Swami says, this man is telling the Dhobi that is my pajama. And showing the tall man, he says, but this man is saying, no, that is my kacha. Till that point, they had no idea that this is what Swami is coming to. So literally, if this man's pajama were to be taken, it will be like... So kacha is, younger people who might not know, it's like something like a short pant that you wear as an undergarment. So Swami is saying, he's saying, this is my pajama, and this man is saying, no, that is mine. But at the same time, as I'm saying, sometimes Swami will play a trick, and you don't know when the joke ends, or rather when the lesson begins. This was during the 1990 summer course, when Swami was getting the whole campus ready for the summer course, right, before the summer course started. So there was this one student who joined all the others, and they were getting the campus all cleaned up. They were cleaning the gardens, they were cleaning the lawns, cleaning the university building. So every morning after darshan, they will all go to the university and they will start cleaning the whole place. So one of these boys happens to be related to the Rajmata, right? It was narrated by him. So the Rajmata's house was just next to our college grounds. So when all this work was going on, he thought, okay, I've been working so hard, let me just go slip into my home and have a cold coffee and come. Right? Generally, we're very strict about this. Students cannot leave the campus without permission, even if your parents are staying just nearby. So he looked around, there were no teachers around. I thought, okay, after all, I've been working so hard, let me just go take a break and come. So he slipped away without anybody noticing. Whatever had is chocolate or coffee or something, and came back. By the time he came back, he realized that Swami had come to the university and he was supervising. So there was this, we all must have seen in Vrindavan, there is that Saraswati idol on top of the building. And there is a fountain in front of it. So Swami was standing in front of the fountain and was supervising the painting that had been done for the Saraswati idol. And Swami was standing there, and all the students had by then gathered, and this boy is coming from that corner. So he thought to himself, I better not go close to Swami in a manner that he notices me. Let me go and join the group so that I can be near Swami, but Swami should not see me. So which is the best place? Behind Swami. Right? So he thought, I will go silently slip and stand behind Swami. Not to his side, not to his left, not to his right. So he slipped. So Swami was standing there. He went and stood behind Swami, and behind him was the fountain. Right? So he quietly stood there. And Swami was making some comment. Saraswati's lipstick is too bright. It has to be, little lighter shade has to be put and all that. So this boy went and stood behind Swami, and he thought to himself, now Swami cannot see me. The moment that thought crossed, Swami turned 180 degrees and looked at him. And he thought he's got caught now. So Swami looked at him and Swami said, bad boy. So you can escape from anyone, you can't escape from Swami. So he said, yes, Swami, sorry, Swami. And Swami's face became even more harsh, and Swami said, very bad boy. Now he started getting a little doubt. It was not such a bad act after all. But then Swami didn't seem like he was joking. Swami was very upset. Swami turned to the elders. When I say elders, it means the vice chancellor and the registrar. They're all like, we hold them in very high respect. The principal of the campus. Swami turns to all of them and Swami says, this boy, very, very bad boy. So now he's all the more scared. What is Swami hinting at? And then Swami tells this boy, tell them what you have done. This boy is wondering, what do I tell them? The vice chancellor, the registrar, what do I tell them? I went and had some coffee and came. It's such a low level offense to confess in front of such dignitaries, he thought. I mean, at least a dignified mistake is okay. What do I tell them? And then Swami does something really amazing. Swami tells a long sentence in Tamil. And Swami turns to the boy and says, isn't that true? And this boy has no idea what Swami is saying. Swami says a long sentence in Tamil and says, didn't you do this? And he's blinking. Then Swami repeats the same sentence again in Tamil, the long sentence, and Swami says, didn't you do it? So he thought Swami is asking me to confess to a crime that I don't even know what it is. Right? Swami is telling me to admit to something, but I don't know what he's asking me to admit. Then again Swami told the same thing in Tamil, and Swami said, isn't it so? Yes, Cheppu. So he understood the only thing he's supposed to understand in that is yes, Cheppu, which means say yes. So he said, yes, Swami. Confession. Swami said, see, he has confessed. But this boy has no idea what he has confessed to. And then Swami explains in English. Swami is telling all the vice chancellor and the seniors, you know what this boy has done? He has gone to one of the senior devotees who is arranging for the VIP accommodation, and he has asked the devotee, sir, tell me all the guests who are coming who have pretty daughters. Right? Swami is saying this. He went to that devotee and he said, you give me a list of all the VIPs who are coming, who have pretty daughters, because we have a guest house in our compound. We could give a few rooms to them. This boy can hardly hold his laugh because this is so ridiculous that he thought that it's really can be nothing more than a joke. So he was really about to burst laughing, but he looked at Swami, but Swami was very serious. Swami was extremely serious. Swami really meant it, and Swami said, this is very bad behavior. I don't like boys like this. And this boy is wondering what happened. And Swami is turning to the vice chancellor, and Swami says, these boys should be disciplined and all that. And he thought at least they will understand the joke, but everybody was serious. So this went by. He thought, okay, the joke is over. The next morning he sits for darshan. Swami is still upset. Evening, Swami is not talking to him. Swami is frowning at him. He says, Swami, this is not right. I didn't do anything like what you said. But how can you be upset with me for something I've not done? So this goes on for a couple of days. And he goes back to his house one day. In the evening he was going back to his house. Just as he's about to enter the house or coming out of the house, what does he see? That devotee who's making a list of guests, that devotee is coming. So when the devotee comes, the first thing he says, you're here. Actually, I heard that you have a guest house here. I just wanted to know if we can accommodate a few guests there. So this whole drama that Swami had played was so that when this devotee comes and asks them for that guest house, the elders in the family should say no. So to get this arrangement done, Swami had played that confession game. Right? And this boy, by then he had gone home and he had told them about what Swami said, and they all had a hearty laugh. And they also knew the moment this person came and asked, do you have a guest house? They knew that Swami had already given them the hint as to what to say. But this boy was still confused. Is it a joke? Is the joke over? Is Swami still upset with me? So that day, after the whole thing has been resolved, he goes back and sits in the mandir. Swami comes to him and this time stops and smiles. So he's happy. So Swami asked him, did you get upset? Did you get upset? Did you feel that Swami is upset with you? And then Swami said something so sweet. I think as devotees, as students, we all crave to hear this from Swami. Swami said, yes, I played a trick on you. And then Swami said, अपना है तो कुछ भी कर सकता है. He said, because you are mine, I can do anything with you. What a beautiful word to hear from Swami. Because you belong to me, I can play with you. In one of the beautiful padyams that Swami would often say, you all must have heard it, Ananda Balude, Ananda Balude, Ananda Balude, Thanavari Gurtimp Tarali Vache. That same Krishna has come to recognize those people who belong to him. Right? And he says, Ayi Shude Bala Sayi Shudai Tana Gumputo Adkonagavache. He has come to play with his group. He has come to play with those he says that these are mine. I can play with them. I can take liberties with them. We all, as friends, we play tricks on each other, we pull each other's leg. The advantage with Swami is he can do much more than simple tricks. Right? His canvas is larger, he can do anything. I once met a devotee who was talking about Swami's first trip to Kodaikanal in the 1960s. Right? In the 1960s, can you believe it? Nobody in Kodaikanal recognized Swami, so he said that we took Swami for shopping on the roads. Nobody would recognize. Once when Swami was talking to us students, Swami had said that whenever he would go out like this, he would take a shawl and tie it over his head to cover his hair, because Swami said, my hair is the one which gives me away. So Swami would say he would tie a scarf on his head, and when he goes, they would take him in a car. People would come and peer into the car. Swami is himself telling this. Im Telsa, do you know what it is? They will think that Vaijayanti Mala has come. Vaijayanti Mala is a very popular film actress of those days. And you should see how Swami blushes after he says that. With a blushing smile, Swami would say, they used to think it is Vaijayanti Mala. I used to be like that. So they used to take Swami around like this, and probably the only Kodai trip where Swami enjoyed without having students and devotees troubling Swami. Swami was so casual, Swami was going around. After 4 days, it seems one devotee came from the city of Madurai. Somehow he got to know that Swami is in Kodaikanal and he came. And that evening, Swami called these people who had organized the trip. There were only 4 of them. And he said, we have to go back to Vrindavan. One devotee has seen, that's it, tomorrow there will be 100 here. We better go back. Go back means you have to drive all the way from Kodaikanal to Bangalore. So this devotee who was driving Swami around, Swami, you cannot tell me like this. You cannot give me 1 hour's notice to drive, keeping awake the whole night. He said, had you told me in the morning, I would have slept a little in the afternoon. He said, I cannot drive. I cannot keep awake the whole night. And Swami is saying, no, we'll go. Otherwise tomorrow there'll be too much problem. Come. And Swami is pleading with this devotee, come, we'll go. So he says, no, Swami, I will fall asleep on the wheel and I don't want to risk that. Swami is saying, no, I will tell you stories on the way. I will keep you awake. So Swami doesn't look like prepared to take no for an answer, and he says, okay, can't escape it now, you have to go with Swami. So they start driving back in the middle of the night. At one point, where it was in the middle of the jungle, the road was going, this man actually fell asleep. He fell asleep on the wheel, and the car was going towards a tree, was about to bang into a tree. And luckily he woke up in time, he stopped, and he looked at Swami and said, Swami, now you have to listen to me. We will sleep here for some time in the car, and then we will go. I cannot drive you into some tree like this. Again Swami said, no, we'll go off, no, but don't worry. He said, no Swami, I have to sleep for some time. Swami said, okay, sleep. Barely 2 minutes, this man closed his eyes. He felt a snake slithering on his feet, in the car. He just felt a snake was just slithering over his feet. And he could have imagined what would have happened. He shrieked and he woke up and, oh my God, snake. And immediately what Swami says, see, this is why I told you, let's not stop near the jungle. So let's not stop here, you start the car, let's go. He said, Swami, but there is a snake. Swami said, I'll take care of the snake, don't worry about the snake, let's go. So this man literally driving the car as little as possible to use his feet, because he doesn't know where the snake is, where it's going to come out. So whole night he drives, comes to Vrindavan, and the moment they reach Vrindavan, Swami gets down and goes inside the bungalow. And this man is now taking out all his flashlight and putting it into the car, removing all the seats. After 5 minutes, Swami comes back and Swami says, what are you doing? Swami, that snake, I have to get rid of that snake, otherwise it will go and coil somewhere inside. Then Swami starts laughing. I know, you're scared of snakes. That is why I materialized a snake, and you will feel it so that you will not get sleep. And he said, there's no snake there, I just did that so that you will be awake. This man was saying, whole night I was driving like this, scared for my life. And so casually Swami saying, I just materialized a snake like that. But how silly of us, isn't it? When Swami is sitting next to us, we are still scared of something or the other. One of my seniors in college, who studied in Swami school right from the primary school, he was telling, I think he was in grade 3 or 4 or something like that. Swami had come to the school one day. The reason Swami had come is Swami had bought I don't know what you call that, what you find in all these theme parks, a wheel-like thing, a giant wheel sort of a thing, right? So something like that Swami had bought so that it can be installed in the school playground so that the children can play. And those days, everything had an inauguration. An inauguration is Swami will come. One of the popular episodes of Sai Humor, which most of you would have read, is when Swami came to inaugurate the hot water facility in the hostel. Right? When suddenly water splashed on Swami, and Swami said, I've inaugurated the hot water facility and I've also had the first bath. Now all of you can use. So Swami had that day come to inaugurate the cartwheel, or that giant wheel, or whatever you call that. So Swami cut the ribbon, the thing was ready. So Swami said, who's going to take the first ride? Who's going to be the first person who's going to go on this giant wheel? And Swami looked around and pulled this fellow, my senior, who narrated this episode. Swami said, you're there, hey Pakoda, come here. Get. You go. And this boy is mortally scared. He says, Swami, I'm scared of these things, I can't. He said, no, nothing, it's just fun, it is enjoyable, get in. And Swami said, I will ask them to do it very slowly, don't be scared. So he trusts Swami, gets into that giant wheel, and slowly he starts doing. And Swami is standing there, this boy is right on top, the top part of the circle, and Swami is looking at this person who is rotating and faster. So slowly the speed is increasing and that boy is like holding for his life. And then Swami is saying, faster. At a point, the thing is going so fast and that boy is screaming for life. He's literally crying out, Swami. And here Swami is not able to stand, he's laughing. He's holding his stomach and rolling and laughing. What a scene it is. No? This boy is crying, this boy is screaming for help, and Swami is laughing. So he goes around after some time, he's in tears and he's howling, and Swami says, okay, stop. And then Swami calls that boy, and Swami says, it was all part of the joke, right? Swami is still laughing. And very casually Swami tells him, hey boy, what are you laughing? What are you crying? What can happen to you when I'm standing here? Very casually, right? Swami says, what can happen to you? I'm standing just here. When this boy narrated this episode, he was probably 35, 40. He says, till today I remember that scene of this wheel, according to me, going out of control, out of speed, and me screaming, and Swami standing there and laughing. And I remind myself of those words, what can go wrong with your life when I'm standing here? Right? What a simple episode, what a joyful episode, but what a message for a lifetime. He says, even now when things go wrong in my life, I say, what can happen wrong that Swami cannot handle? And Swami is standing here. There was this devotee who, Swami was traveling around the state of Andhra Pradesh. So at one point, they reached the town of Tirupati. Right? They had to have a stopover at Tirupati, and they had to go on to the other place. So those of you who are aware of Tirupati, there is a male Tirupati, there is a Keel Tirupati, or there is an upper Tirupati and lower Tirupati, and the temple is in the upper Tirupati, right? Tirumala we call. But Swami was staying in the town of Tirupati, which was down, in one of the government guest houses or something, just for the night or just for a day, and Swami was proceeding. There were 3 or 4 devotees with Swami. So after they reached that bungalow and they are all settled down, these 4 devotees came to Swami, 3 devotees came to Swami. And they said, Swami, can we go for darshan and come? Right? You come to Tirupati, you have to pay your respects to Venkateshwara. So can we go have darshan and come? Swami is like, what darshan? Swami, Tirupati, Venkateshwara, we have come so far, we should have his darshan. Very casually Swami says, Venkateshwara is here, what you'll go and see there? I said, yes Swami, that is there, but Venkateshwara is there. I said, you are God, no one is contesting that, don't feel bad, we are not doubting you. But Tirupati Venkateshwara is Tirupati Venkateshwara, we should go and see him. Swami said, I am telling you, Venkateshwara is here. They said, no Swami, we'll just go and just few hours you give us, we'll go have darshan and come. We said, okay, you want to go? Go. So they started. You know, we always try to maximize grace, no? If going to Tirupati is beneficial, go to Tirupati. If walking to Tirupati is beneficial, walk to Tirupati, right? Squeeze out as much grace as you can get. So they said, we'll walk up the mountain, we'll go to Tirupati. And if you have any of you have done that trek, it's a very beautiful trek, and it's lovely. Everyone is chanting the name of the Lord. Everyone is calling out the name of the Lord. All Govinda, 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 right? So they join that. In Tamil they have that joke. Govinda, Govinda, Gumballo Govinda, they'll say. Even if you cannot do sadhana on your own, join somebody, and so that's how that term comes. So everyone is like Govinda, 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 and walking up the Tirumala mountain. And the frequency of Govinda and the pitch of Govinda will increase as you go closer and closer to the temple. So the Govindas are becoming more, the excitement in that voice of Govinda is becoming more. And as they enter the temple, they go near the sanctum sanctorum, and all the devotees are putting up their hand and Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. These 3 devotees are blank. They are just standing there. And one of them turns quietly to the other person and he says, can you see anything? Second person says, I can't see anything. And the third person says, even I'm not able to see. Which means they're able to see the pujari standing there. They're able to see all the lamps lit up there. They're able to see all the offerings in front of everything kept there. But Venkateshwara is not there. The idol of Venkateshwara is missing. They look at each other and we've come all the way here walking up the mountain and Venkateshwara is missing. So you can't tell this to any of the other devotees there. They'll think that you're mad. So they quietly come back. They come back to the bungalow where Swami is there. They don't even go to the room. They quietly go back to their rooms. And Swami will not let it. When Swami comes, hey, what happened? How was the darshan? How did you enjoy the darshan? And they said, Swami, we had nice darshan. We had very good darshan. Oh, really? You had good darshan? And then they said, Swami, where will we have darshan? You spoiled the darshan like this. And Swami said, I told you, Venkateshwara is here. Right? You didn't listen. Then Swami says, Ayyo, Papam. Okay, go and have darshan now. They said, no, Swami, one time we have experienced it and we don't want to try. No, Swami said, nothing. You had the desire to have Venkateshwara's darshan, go now. This time you will have the darshan. And force them to go up again, and this time they had darshan and come. But will they ever have that doubt again that this is the same Venkateshwara? At one point, generally I'm not naming any of the devotees I'm speaking about, but this devotee I'll name. Most of you might know, he is no more there. There was this devotee by name Rama Brahmam. Right? You all must have heard, he was the caretaker of the ashram in Vrindavan. For those of you who have not seen any of his images, it's a very well-built, robust gentleman. Right? He had a big head, big bald head, big pot, very well-built, taller than Swami. Those were people that were given to a lot of hard physical work. So very well-built gentleman. Extremely inspiring devotee. Right? We all can look up to him for the example that he set for all of us in devotion. That sort of a devotee. So this devotee, one day he was in Swami's room. He used to have access to Swami's room. And I must have been doing some errand in Swami's room, setting straight Swami's bed or putting away things. Suddenly, Swami pulls out one of his robes and throws it at this man and says, Vesko, wear it. Swami is this much, 5'3", and this man is a tall man, well built, with a big head, and Swami is throwing his robe and saying, wear it. He says, Swami, this is not fair. There is no way I will fit into this robe. He said, hey, wear it. He said, no, Swami, my head also will not go inside. He said, you wear it? No, you wear it. Let me see how a robe looks for you. Or something like that, Swami said. He said, Swami, my hand will not go inside the sleeve. He said, you wear it. It looked like a prank that Swami was playing on him, right? And this man was, okay, Swami is told, if I have to tear a rope, so be it. That's what he thought. But years later, when he was narrating this episode, he was actually narrating it with tears in his eyes. Because he says that as he was trying to wear that robe, the robe actually expanded and fit for him. And he recalls this episode as a very profound reminder to him that when Swami gives you a work, Swami will ensure that the work is accomplished. However, in your rationality, it might appear that it is impossible. Right? He was a great devotee of Swami because he would implicitly follow whatever Swami tells him to do. Implicit obedience. And he says, I look back at this episode and I remind myself, when Swami gives you a task, definitely Swami is not going to give us the task of wearing his robe. Let us not try that. But whatever is the task that Swami gives, he says that be absolutely sure that with it, Swami will also give you the confidence and with the ability to accomplish that task. So whatever prank that Swami was playing, it may appear as a prank, but when we are open to that, it was always coming with such a beautiful message. How many of you have experienced, I'm sure most of you would have experienced that token lines in Puttaparthi, right? Waking up early in the morning, sitting there. Exactly, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. And if it is Shivratri and birthday, you don't even have to talk about it. Right? Overnight, you have to come at 11 or 12 in the night and sit. There were a couple of students, they were not yet students, they had written their entrance exam and they were waiting for the results. And I think this happened in Parthi, Swami was in Parthi. So these students, these youngsters, what they did, instead of going back home, they said, we'll wait in Prashanti Nilayam because anyway Swami is here till the results come. So every day they would sit in one corner and Swami was very happy that these youngsters had decided to stay back and they were having Swami's darshan. So every day Swami would see where they are sitting, Swami would go to them and Swami would speak to them. It was they would also look forward to it and Swami also would come in. Something, did you have breakfast? Did you speak to your parents or something like that? And every day Swami would come to them and give them Path Namaskar. Right? That used to happen. One day Swami comes up to them and very quietly stands in front of them. Swami said, do you have a paper? Paper unda? Swami asked. He said, yes, Swami. Those days everybody used to carry notebooks to write letters to Swami. He said, yes, Swami. Pen? He said, yes, Swami. Take it. So they took that paper and pen like that. And Swami, very sophisticatedly, as though some Brahma Rahasya is being transferred. Swami said, write down. Swami says, 9, 6, 3, 4, 8. Random numbers, and they write down. Have you written down? He said, yes, Swami. Next few days, these numbers are going to come one. Go sit in this. For the next few days, these are the token numbers which are going to get the first place. Go sit in this. Don't tell anyone. And from the next day, whatever that list Swami had given, exactly that is the line which is going first. After 3-4 days, the devotees got a wind of this. Hey, we have to follow these boys wherever they go and sit. So that's why I said, for all of us who know the struggle of that token number, it was always fixed. It was never fair. But what a way of showing his love, right? Showing his grace, 100 million, 1,000 ways of Swami showing his love by fun, by care, by humor. And there is no limit. I mean, when we speak in retreats like this, or when we are asked to speak, we always pick episodes which kind of adds to the flow of the topic that we are trying to speak. But let not the youngsters go away with the idea that that is how Swami lived his life. When Swami says there is no reason for love, there is no season for love, that defined Swami. There was no reason for love. There was no circumstance that was not a time for him to show his love. There was this devotee who is from the town of Anantapur, a very senior devotee. Whenever Swami would want any important work to be done, Swami would send word for him. One of those people whom Swami had a lot of trust in. So one day what happened is, Swami sent word to this devotee that he wants to pick up another minister or some dignitary like that from the town of Anantapur and come to Parthi for morning darshan. This was the instruction Swami sends word to this devotee. So this devotee, what he does, he wakes up 5 o'clock in the morning, drives to this dignitary's house, picks up that dignitary and comes to Parthi in time for morning darshan, 7:30. So Swami calls this dignitary for an interview, and the interview is done. So after the interview for the dignitary, Swami calls this gentleman to whom this task was given. And Swami asks him, "Wait, what time did you start from Anantapur?" He said, "Swami, I started at 5 o'clock, Swami." "Ayo, Papam, 5 o'clock, which means you've not had breakfast, isn't it? You didn't have breakfast?" He said, "No, Swami, I didn't have time, but I can have now. After darshan, I'll go and have." "You, Papa, you usually have at 8 o'clock, no? Till now you have not had. Coffee also you didn't have," Swami said. So this devotee was saying, "It's okay, Swami, you don't have to apologize for it or something like that." He said, "No, Papa, you not had." Swami said, I will give you breakfast." So what do you think? Swami would have called one of the boys or called one of the kitchen cooks and would have said, "Get some breakfast for this man." You know what Swami does? Swami waves his hand and materializes a cube, something like a sugar cube. And Swami gives it to this devotee and Swami says, "Eat this." He doesn't know what it is. It looks like some jelly cube or a sugar cube or something. He says, "Okay." He puts it in his mouth. He says within the next 1 minute, he gets the feeling as though he has had a plate full of idli and vada. And that flavor is there in his tongue. And he is able to belch. Imagine that, one cube, he can literally feel, I've had idli, vada, sambar, chutney, all of those flavors are coming. And he is feeling full. And Swami says, "Had? Satisfied now?" This devotee is stunned. He said, "Yes, Swami." I mean, you don't even imagine something like this, right? Manchidi. Ayo, coffee, I didn't give you coffee. No problem. Again waves his hand, materializes another cube, which looks similar to the previous cube. And Swami said, "Take it." He puts it in his mouth. Now the feeling as though he has had a good degree coffee. That's what he says, like a good South Indian degree coffee. If you drink that bitterness in the tongue, that fragrance of good coffee, and only coffee lovers will know the satisfaction of having had a good coffee. He says, "I felt that." What a sweet thing for Swami to do, isn't it? There is no boundary for him. There is no, only this much he will do, only that much he will do. I'll probably end with another sweet episode, which a friend one of the seniors was sharing. He was studying in Swami's college and not the best of students academically. And what happens if you're not good at your studies? Your mothers are concerned, right? Your mothers will get very concerned. So his mother would, every time she gets the opportunity, crib with Swami. "Swami, this boy doesn't study, Swami, this boy doesn't study. Please tell him something, please instruct him." And every now and then Swami will tell him, "Hey, your mother is going on troubling me, why don't you study?" But this fellow is always somehow managed to just scrape through the exams, and always mother had the same complaint. So one day Swami is coming for darshan and his mother has also come and she is sitting there. And Swami looks at the mother and Swami's face lights up. "Hey, did he tell you? Did your son tell you?" He said, "No, Swami, what happened?" "He got second rank. He didn't tell you." The mother was delighted. She said, "Second rank? My son?" "Yes, he didn't tell you. Hey, baga chesadu, second rank he got." So she was very happy. So she went to the son after the darshan. "Hey, you never told me. Swami came and told me that you got second rank." And this boy said, "Yeah, second rank." Yes. Actually, what had happened is, there were only 3 students in the class. One fellow got 90 marks, one fellow failed. This fellow just passed, so he was the second rank. And Swami is going and telling his mother, "Your son got second rank." And Swami comes this side, comes to his student, "Please save my name. I've told your mother like this, At least next time study a little. No, as children we all feel, no, Swami should be on my side. You should be on my team. So in all these little ways and beautiful ways, I think he endured us. And these are all related to the physical Swami. I'm sure if we start listing out the fun things that omnipresent Swami, that Swami was living with each one of us is doing in our everyday life, that is in no way less sweeter than any of these episodes, isn't it? In our own lives, if we are able to make him that companion, if we are able to picturize him standing next to that giant wheel, next to that roller coaster that each one of our lives is, and say, what can go wrong? After all, he's sitting there and maybe even laughing, right? As they say, you want to make God laugh? Tell him your plans, right? And that's what we do every day. We keep telling him our plans and he's standing there and laughing. So just picturizing him standing there and just, what can go wrong? He is there. What is it that he cannot do? A whole spread of an idli vada sambar, he can give it to you in a small piece like that. What is it that we need to worry about? What is it that we have to be feeling insecure about? How can we ever feel incomplete when we have Swami with us? I think that probably is the message which we will conclude with. This is also the last talk I am giving for this retreat. Let me take this opportunity for thanking all of you. I always say this and I mean it 100%. If I give a 1 hour talk, it is 1 hour of thinking of Swami for you, but it is at least 3, 4 or 5 hours of thinking of Swami for me in preparing for this talk. So I am extremely aware of that and conscious of that, and I'm grateful for that. That if you thank me for letting you think of Swami for this 1 hour, I owe much, much more gratitude to each one of you for giving me this opportunity to think of Swami for so long. And there's nothing I can thank Swami for. He has made life much, much more fulfilling than we could ever imagine, we could even ask for. I thank Swami, I thank the Swami in each one of you for this beautiful opportunity to be with all of you. Unless I step out of this hall, I don't know I'm in Singapore. Right? I feel I am in Prashanti. I feel I am with devotees who are visiting Prashanti, because that is the power that each Sai devotee has. The power that Swami has given to each Sai devotee is the ability to create a Prashanti Nilayam wherever they are. And I think that is what you all, include me also, we all have managed to do in the past 2 days. We've created it through the food that was served, through the games that were played, through the love that was shared. We've created a Prashanti Nilayam here, and I'm grateful to be able to be here. Thank you all very much. I offer this that Swami is good to speak.